Welcome to NASCAR 08 Busch Series Racing, Nazareth Speedway. We've got a big, long NASCAR Busch Series race for you here today. Race 22 of 35 on the season. And the reason why it's long, 300 laps in length around this 1 mile racetrack. That's a Cup Series race length, yes. But we are running the Busch Series cars, racing as Martin Truex Jr. on this Busch Series season and trying to get Martin Truex Jr. into victory lane yet again on the year. Just pulling up my notes right now to see where we've left off in recent races for the Busch Series on the channel. And Denny Hamlin won our most recent race at the Tiburon short track, that stadium short track that used to be called the Dodge Raceway in the older EA games. Denny Hamlin won that race. We finished in second. Martin Truex Jr.'s last win was at Chicagoland on 1.5 miles, and we've actually only won 2 of the last 5 races, despite the fact that we have 13 wins on the season. So it seems like we're really winning every other race for the last handful of races. We'll see if that means that we can go to victory lane today. I did qualify in the top 20, but it doesn't seem like I have that quick of a race car. Track position is going to mean a lot. I didn't have any cars around me in practice, so passing's probably going to be very, very difficult today. I'll do the best I can. Passing was difficult in the Coke 600 at Charlotte yesterday, and as a result of which we only led 13 laps out of 400, and I finished second. I think we can get a good finish, but winning the race is definitely going to be tough. We'll see what we can do. Our teammate Dale Jr. is on the pole. Green flag's in the air, and we're underway. I tried to put as much downforce into this car as I possibly could. I didn't think I had enough based off of how practice ended up going for me, so hoping for even more in the race. Qualified 15th, and we shall see. Actually, I qualified 17th. I got up to 15th in the early going. 3 wide. Well, we got through lap 1 with minimal contact, so that's good. I did not want to go 3 wide into there. It's a long race. I got to treat this like a cup race and not like a Busch or a truck race, because it's actually going to be pretty long. It's so weird, because the flat short tracks, you know, Tiburon Raceway, I didn't think I performed very well. Obviously, even though I finished second, the right front tire was falling off so badly. It's also hard to believe that it's been about 8 days since the last time I ran a Busch race on the channel. So there could be a little bit of rust there as well, based off of how I was performing in practice and qualifying. Cars One Boy, Wade, Ethan, Bam Hall, thanks for tuning in, guys. A little earlier on a Monday, but that's because we had a long race in store for us today, so taking advantage of it. Get this done at a reasonable time. Got up inside the top 10 pretty quick. 4 laps, already gained quite a few spots underneath Matt Kenseth now for 8th. I feel like turn 1, they run me very tight on entry into that corner. I get off of turn 5 really well. This kind of pentagon-shaped racetrack with 5 turns, but ooh. About turned myself off of Matt Kenseth's front bumper. I tried to clear him so I can angle my corner off a little better. I'm probably going to end up losing this spot because of that. Oh. Car did not want to grip up on the outside very well. Yeah, this is definitely a one-groove racetrack. Oh, look at that, though. The over-under move in turns 2 and 3. Got right back underneath them again. Be sure to drive it in real deep into turn 4. There we go. Now we're clear. Plenty clear. One of the 2 16 cars right in front of us. I definitely felt too free in practice. Made some adjustments during and post-practice. Tightened the car up a little bit. I was better in qualifying, but still too free. So I put all the downforce into the car I literally could. So I almost turned myself off the 16's front bumper. Felt like I did with Matt Kenseth. Just an FYI, I may have to pause the game at some point a couple times. I'm on dog duty, watch my sister's dog this weekend, and tried to get her to go outside and go poop after I fed her about 15 minutes ago or so, and she didn't want to go because it just got done storming here, so everything's so damp outside. There's puddles everywhere, so I may have to have like a doggy break at some point in this race. I doubt she's going to make it 3 hours. Unless it rains again, then maybe she'll hold it, but I don't think it's supposed to rain at all the rest of the day. I don't want to make her do that either, so see how far we can get. So I fed her dinner like 20 minutes ago, so I'm trying to take her outside, so at some point she's probably going to have to go the next hour or two. She's just laying down right now in the bed, so that's good. I'm hoping she takes like a 2-hour power nap and we can get most of this race in before that. All right. She had the zoomies like when we came in from outside, so that might have tired her up a little bit. Just kind of picking these guys off. I'm really finessing my way around this racetrack, which if you would have saw how I was handling in practice, and then even a little bit on that first qualifying lap, I pushed it a little too hard in certain areas. Yeah, it wasn't great. I think I was 33rd on lap 1. I picked up to 17th on lap 2. Lap 2 wasn't great either, but the adjustment changes that I made, yeah, see that slide right there, that was happening so consistently. So I'm not worried about the car sliding around like that every once in a while. I just hope that for the long run, it's not going to do that. I am doing my best to tiptoe around these corners to keep the tires underneath us, because I don't know how far we can go on fuel. I have not raced at Nazareth on this game. We didn't race here at all in the Truck Series season, obviously not on the Cup season. So solely relying on this Busch race to tell me how long this fuel run's going to be. We're not going to know until we get to about halfway out of gas. The New Hampshire truck race, we were able to go about 60 to 70 laps, but we had a lot of cautions. We haven't had a lot of yellows here. Oh! Well, I couldn't have spoke any more soon there. What happened? I swear he just stopped right in front of me. John Wood, what are you doing? Did Tony Stewart... Oh, you know what? I think Tony Stewart blew an engine. I think Stewart blew an engine out of turn 1, and that's why John Wood just jammed on the brakes right behind him. Sorry, not Tony Stewart, Dale Jr. I saw the red car up there, and I was thinking it was the Old Spice car. That was... that couldn't have been any more perfect, too. I said, oh, we haven't seen a caution, and then, boom. As I was saying, I destroyed the front of this race car, and the back of the 47. We might get some debris yellows in here at some point. I can't pit for fuel or tires because of causing the incident, but we are coming to pit road to repair some serious damage. 5.5 seconds worth at least. And that is not good because all that work I did to get all the way up to 3rd is done. And I do think it's because Dale Jr. blew an engine. Because he looked slow on the replay of the caution. Even after I hit the 47 as hard as I did, he passed Dale Jr. under the yellows. So I think Dale Jr. blew an engine right in front of us from the lead, and because there's no apron at this racetrack, there is nowhere for him to go. There is an apron in various portions of the track, but not in turn 1. Not unless you're coming out of the pits on the access road, like right there. What are the odds the race leader blows an engine right in front of me? Right in front of the 2nd place car, we nail the 2nd place car. John Wood leads now. I don't know how long he's going to be able to stay up there with all the damage. Dale Jr. is out, so that's exactly what happened. I'm glad I figured it out, and I hope that doesn't happen again because there was literally nowhere to go. And if I didn't clobber him, somebody would have. There's no way from the front that the entire pack would have missed him. No perfect brackets remaining? That doesn't surprise me. I actually forgot to look at that earlier today. I meant to. Actually, I meant to do it yesterday. I didn't do it then either. I was pretty busy yesterday, though. After I got done streaming, I had to mow my parents' lawn and a bunch of other stuff. Some laundry. Other chore-y stuff to do. Since I didn't do it on Saturday or Friday with all the streaming. I usually do it on Friday. That's like a good day for me because sometimes I don't do live commentary streams then. So I kind of get away with not doing my notes until Saturday morning, but I had to this week because I had 2 streams, Xfinity Race and Cup qualifying. I do think I have one of the fastest cars in the field. I can get through this traffic, but knowing that it does take time to do so, it's going to be a while before we can get up to where we were running. It took me about, what, just over a dozen laps, go from 17th to 3rd. But now we're coming from the tail end of the field, and we're probably going to get some debris yellows, so that's going to buy us a little extra time. This car does feel a little bit tighter with the damage to the front bumper, as I would probably expect it to be. That's not good. Because if it's tight now, just wait till the tires really start to fall off of it, because it's probably going to get even worse. And I could have expected it to maybe go that way because of the last Busch race on a flat oval. It was literally just the last race we ran. Maybe problematic. That guy running me down the racetrack. Carswell in the 101. All right, Spencer, you're going to have to get out of my way. He is literally not giving me any room. He's running so low on the straightaways. There we go. I just flat out had to move him. I don't like doing that. But he left me no choice. The fact that John Wood's still leading. I'm convinced that the AI have a way tougher time making passes than I do. I really haven't had too tough of a time, and I'm surprised because I wasn't sure how that was going to be. I thought it was going to be difficult based off of where I qualified, which was right in the middle of the pack. So that's the way the Coke 600 was. I qualified 15th, qualified 17th here. I thought it was going to be kind of the same thing where I was going to have a problem getting to the lead. I guess technically I haven't led yet because of the incident, but again, it was nothing of our own doing. I mean, that literally would have happened to anybody else. We just happened to be that car at the wrong place at the wrong time. Don't wreck myself. We're good. Could probably be a little bit more patient getting by these guys. I've ruffled a couple people's feathers. Oh, we got trouble behind us. Second caution of the day. I was wondering if that was going to happen at some point. 117. I think he just overdrove the entry to the corner. Boom! That's a hard hit. No safer barrier on that. Whoa, that was an even harder hit. Oh my gosh. He drove away though, somehow. That was a real race car. That right rear just would have been sheared completely off. Well, surprised we didn't have any debris yellows after the first wreck. I would imagine we're going to get some after that wreck. Green flag back in the air. We're towards the back of the field still, but I don't want to pit the top off of fuel. Boy, we jammed up a little bit there. Luckily, the 110 was smart enough to drive underneath everybody else, too. We were 3 wide. Well, the problem with that is I think I would have made a pass or two had he not been there. It was too tight for me to make that corner. Run this 142 up the track a little bit. Give myself more room. Oh, not like that. That'll work, though. 30 laps in. I back turn one up. I'm so good, but I'm too good to the point I catch them so quickly into turn 2. And if they're in my line, I just don't have anywhere to go to pass them. That's going to be a great line if I ever get to the lead. I've got the car to do it. The strategy you know, we'll see if that goes my way, but best thing we can do is just try to keep in control of our own race. Shahir Ahmed, thanks for tuning in. Got 11 likes on the stream already. Appreciate that, everyone. Uh-oh. The dog is on the move. I got the gate at the stairs, so she can't go anywhere. So I just gotta hope she doesn't start whining. If she starts whining, I think I gotta take her out. Honestly, wasn't expecting to have the 2 early yellows we did. I was wondering if this race was going to be like New Hampshire for the trucks where we had 10 cautions in that race, but we might get there, I guess. It's a longer race by 100 miles. See, look at me back that corner up. Caught him perfectly into turn 2, but he's on the bottom, and I can't really go down in the grass. Then my car's really going to slide out from underneath me. But we had enough of a run in that area of the track that I was able to strike when we got to turn 4. So, made a clean pass there. Let's not do that again. Carried a little bit too much speed into turn 1. It's a work in progress. Dale Jr. being second in the point standings and having that early issue. If we have a good finish in this race, we're going to be... I mean, we're already way ahead in the points, but way, way ahead. I mean, we clinched the truck title 4 races early. We should be able to clinch even earlier in the Busch Series because it's a longer season. So if we clinched in 21 out of 25 races and 35 races, I would imagine we could clinch by race 30 at least. I would expect next week to maybe be the last week of the Busch Series for the current season run. So we finished trucks last week, barely, but we did. Definitely not going to be able to finish it this week, but you know, maybe next week, and then we got a lot more cup races coming on the channel. I'll do the best I can to try to continue the daily streaming, but if we get to certain, like, 500-mile races, I just won't be able to do those on a work night. Especially with more than likely having overtime coming up starting this weekend again for me. Big run underneath Sam Hornish Jr. Contact. Oh, rub and run, nothing too big. The 20th. Narrowly getting underneath of Marcus Ambrose in the 59. Tried to side draft him a little. Little contact along the way. Now we're underneath Montoya for 18th. Brian Berwick, thanks for tuning in. How's my day? My day's been pretty good. No complaints. Can't really play any MLB The Show like I wanted to. Coming into the day, I'll probably end up having to do that. I'll probably have Monday Night Raw on my phone or something, because I've been itching. I just got to my 400th career home run yesterday. So, feeling great about that. 400 career homers. And just over 1,000 RBI. I think like just over 1,100 RBIs now, 1,600 hits. I'm closer to 1,700 than I am to 1,600. That I know. Grinding away. Finished 9 seasons. Won 3 World Series. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the record for the most World Series. I was on a pace there where I won 3 out of 7, but now the last 3 years we haven't won a World. Well, the last 2 years, I guess, technically. Like, I'm going to have to. We're going to have to three-peat at some point, Cincinnati Reds. Because I'm tied into an 8-year contract, so I don't really know if I can get out of that. Not to go to a good team. I made the playoffs all but 1 year of my 9 years I've completed. That might have been one of the years I was hurt. Got a contact with Boyer, 3 wide. Man, that was just tight. All the way through that corner. Up to 9th, though. For Mark Truex Jr. Up that bottom lane opened up just a bit. I really want to get down there, but I don't think I can. Boyer's going to cross us back over. And he ran us up the track, too. We got him. We got him. I'm halfway out of gas. We've had 2 cautions. I would expect us to be able to go about 80 laps on a full tank. We've got 4 sets of tires. We might be using all of them in this race. Underneath this 9 car, Casey Kane. Kane blocking the heck out of us right now. It's our driver for the Cup side. We'll drop back to position number 9 in the Busch race. Oh, now my dog's sleeping. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. She opened her eyes. Not my dog. I should rephrase that a little bit. As soon as I said that, she like opened her eyes. Like, what? What'd you say? I said nothing. Live an hour away from Nazareth. There we go. I'll try to win this for your home track, Michael. Ooh. McMurray behind us. She's got up against the wall. A little loose. Driving it off into turns 2 and 3. I don't know how we haven't seen a debris caution. From the 2 wrecks we had, I thought they were violent enough crashes we were going to see debris yellows. Somehow haven't. And somehow John Wood has led every lap since Dale Jr. blew an engine from the lead, causing that first accident. Like, he has damage, but nobody's passed him. I'll tell you what, from the 17th starting spot, I did not think it was going to take this long to get to the front of the field based off of how I started the race. But we're back up into the top 5 again. We'll be at lap 50 this time by. We have J.J. Yaley in the 1 car in front of us next. My car hasn't fallen off yet. All my tires are in the green on the tire wear indicator, so that's good. I came as prepared for this as I could have been. It's my sister's dog. I had to watch it this weekend as she's on patrol again. I don't know what she's doing. She was literally just about to fall asleep. And I opened my big mouth, and now I don't know what's going on. There we go. Textbook pass on J.J. Yaley. Finally completed that. We got a little light. Washed up the track a bit, but I think we got enough corner exit speed. We should be able to stay in front of him still. There we go. And Kevin Harvick, Jeff Burton, 2nd and 3rd. Harvick's next, then Burton. At least for now. Burton went really wide through turns 2 and 3. She's back. Keeps looking out my window. Wind's picking up. Maybe it is going to storm again. I thought all the storms came through today. It's kind of been raining off and on where I live. Cousin has a friend that races. What does he race? Do I think NASCAR should return? I think they should return to Chicagoland. I don't like that they ever left. They've left way too many tracks in the Midwest. I've said this many times before, so I'm not going to go too into detail, but they've left a lot of tracks in the Midwest in the last, really since 2019, or since COVID alone. I mean, the list goes on and on across all three series. I mean, they don't race at Mid-Ohio anymore. Truck and Xfinity Series, Michigan's cut down to one date. Pocono's cut down to one date. Chicagoland's off the schedule. Kentucky, although it's some, you can consider the Midwest because it's not that far south of Cincinnati, but that got axed. Indianapolis went to the road course for a while, but now it's back to the oval, so at least that's back. And with it is IRP. So that finally came back. Obviously, Chicagoland. There's probably others in there that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head that I would have listed prior before. Harvick with a pass on Jeff Burton. He just continues to not be able to grip the bottom of the track through turns 2 and 3, at least since we were closing in on him. Followed Harvick to get the third spot. Now we're going to look to pass Harvick that next lap for second. Got it. And this is the first time we've been in second today now. Can we take the lead for the first time away from John Wood? Brake corner through turn 1 for Truex. Way up the hill goes Harvick. Backs up Burton, who was in that outer lane right behind him. So not as much pressure on us for position anymore. Nobody's been able to pass John Wood yet. How much is Clean Air King here today at Nazareth? The only reason he took the lead was because Dale Jr. blew an engine after he qualified on the pole. Ah, that slight little wiggle. I had to drive it in deep. He left the bottom open, but I couldn't get there. Just a little bit too far back on corner entry. All right, come on. Right there. Right there. Didn't lead that lap at the line. Squeezed us into turn 1. I don't know if we're going to be able to pass him on the outside. Nope, way too loose up here. We're up in the marbles. Really kept it off the wall. Harvick closes in again. Is this why nobody's been able to get the lead from John Wood? Is it just impossible to pass him? I'm doing all the things that I did to get to this point. At least I know that I can pass through traffic pretty all right. I mean, obviously it took 60 laps, but you know, if I had to do it again, like in the middle of the race for something stupid, then at least I know I could get this far. Very humid where you live for the past few days. It is summertime, so you're probably going to have that pretty much anywhere around the country. Really trying to get to the brakes as early as possible. Back the corners up. There we go. Now we got to run. Slip to the inside. Wood's going to drive us tough. Down into turn 4, we're going to have to drive him even tougher. Trying to race him clean. And we did. Clear out of turn 5. First lap led of the race. Took 62 laps from the 17th starting spot to get to the lead, but we're there. And if it's that hard to pass the driver at the Clean Air, now can Martin Truex Jr. just pull away? Well, we had the speed to get there, so it make me think that we could just pull away. Yep, 5 turns. I remember the last time I raced here, I Googled it just to fact check that because it seems like it has 5 turns the way you drive the track, and yeah, it does actually. Google says it has 5. Google knows all for the most part. Unless you try to figure out when like certain stores close or restaurants close or something. I feel like those hours are like always wrong on Google. You have to go onto like the actual website of wherever you're looking to go. I found that out the hard way a couple times when I've traveled and I went to like go eat somewhere. I'm like, oh yeah, they're open at 10 o'clock. I'll have plenty of time after the race and they're closed when you get there. It's like, oh, dang it, nothing's open. Yeah, that was a pain on several occasions. Or it says like, I remember I went to go to this Waffle House, said it was open 24 hours and they weren't even open anymore. Like it used to be a Waffle House. It wasn't even in business anymore. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Would have liked to have known that before I drove all the way over here. A little bit of a power slide. Racing wheels easier to play NASCAR games. Personal preference. So when I was first starting the channel, NASCAR Heat 5 was the modern game at that time, and I used the steering wheel for that game with the PS4, and I basically used it until the shifter was broken on it. The upshift paddle shifter on the right side of the steering wheel, it stuck. Like it was just stuck. So it would upshift at random times I didn't want it to. So then I was really only able to use it on ovals because I wouldn't have to worry about having to downshift at all. So once I started having that problem, and then I couldn't get away from it even on the ovals because then it would just mess my restart up. I didn't want to race on automatics, so I went away with it. And I would kind of alternate back and forth whether I would use that or if I would use the controller just to kind of make it even. Because doing these races, it's a lot easier to talk to you guys when I don't have the steering wheel in my hand. Like when I have the steering wheel in my hand, I really can't look at the chat like hardly at all. Because there's a lot going on. I do think it is easier. It makes the turning smoother, but I have to be like fully focused. Like this, I can kind of glance down and then glance back up again at times, like right now. Especially with leading and slightly pulling away. I mean, I still got to be focused, but I can get in a rhythm. So I don't know if I'll ever really get a steering wheel again, honestly, unless I do get into like iRacing stuff. And obviously, if I ended up doing that, then I wouldn't be able to look at the chat either. That'd just be something in and of itself. That's like that's far down the road if I ever go that route. I've been asked that before. I used to race growing up, so I don't think I can replace, you know, racing with doing it on a simulator for me personally and get my racing fix out of it. Knowing that I have done that before, like I'd almost have to get in an actual race car or, you know, go-kart or something like that again. That would be the only way I could get my racing fixed. So I don't know that I'll ever go the iRacing route. I remember when it like really first started and I was still racing before I had the YouTube channel, and people would come up to me like, oh, you do that iRacing thing? I'm like, no, I race for real. Like, like you think I just like go home and sit on a computer like every Saturday and Sunday? I'm like, no, I'm like actually at the racetrack. I'm like, I'm actually racing. I'm not gonna lie, it did rub me the wrong way there for a little bit. It's because it was, I mean, it was growing hot. This was like just before COVID. I'm talking like 2018, 2019. Later in my high school years especially. I'm like, this whole time, like, people heard, like, I was racing from, like, I started when I was 8 years old. Like, people just assume I just sat on the computer, like, every weekend and talked about that for 10, 11 years. Like, they didn't think I was actually going to racetracks and stuff. Little did they know. Well, we're under caution for the third time. I think I'm going to pit here. I'm going to pit. Got some debris. I think I'm far enough into this green flag run. I would expect most of the other cars to pit as well. I said already, without cautions, I think we can go about 80 laps, and we were at lap 73. With the yellows, we probably could have restarted and went about another dozen laps or so, but that wasn't going to be worth it. So we're definitely hitting pit road right now. No adjustments, full tank. And it was so hard to get to the lead, so we got to hope that the pit crew's on point. Dawsonville pool room closes at 3 every Monday. Man, even after a Chase Elliott race win? So if they had a Monday race, would somebody go there when it's closed or something and then ring the siren? Big monitor so I can read the chat faster? I don't think that's really gonna... like, my eyesight's fine. I don't know if I'm gonna read any faster just because the lettering's bigger. I think that's just all up to how fast you can read. So it's a lot easier for me to do that while we're under caution and stuff, too.
Those cars up in front didn't fit.
What does my sister do for work? She works at a hospital. She's a RN. She's just finishing up her schooling at the University of Toledo. She actually graduates here in a little over a month. I think the 15th or the 16th. Whatever that Friday is. I think it's the 15th, because I'm pretty sure the Richmond race is the Saturday night, the 15th, so I think it's the Friday she has her graduation. So she's getting pretty close. No, not me, her, my sister. If I had her scheduling with like school and stuff like that, no chance I'd be able to stream. Like weekends, weekdays, I mean, she really does bust her ass with that. So much she has to remember, you know, people's lives are, you know, not that she's like an actual doctor or, you know, working in surgical procedures or anything, but if something were to go wrong, she still has to know, like, in the spur of the moment, you know, what can I do to fix, like, this situation? So there's a lot of studying. You have to get it 100% right. It's hard to pass certain things. So yeah, I mean, she studies a lot. She's gonna have a lot of extra time on her hands when she graduates. That she's not really gonna know what to do with it because she spends 6 to 7 days a week on that. There would be no chance I'd be able to stream, let alone like watch all the races on top of, you know, trying to do this. No way. Why is the stream at 2? You're talking about the 4th of July. That's because it is the 4th of July, and I completely forgot that the 4th was on Friday. I had my dates wrong. So the community tab post, I don't think there's a way for me to go back and edit it. I feel like I'd have to just like re-upload a new schedule. I didn't want to do that, so I just put in the... I put it in that stream specifically on Friday that I'm not going to have time that night. I've got other things that I'm doing. I didn't realize the 4th of July was on that Friday. Slipped by me. So we're going to be streaming at 2 o'clock that day. I would do it earlier, but there's a chance that I'm working until noon. So I might move it up to noon just to give me more time for later, because by the time that race is done, like I gotta leave at 5. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure there. Got some fireworks to go see at the fan. We're having like a barbecue and a grill out, stuff like that, but yeah, I didn't think that was on Friday. It passed by me. I know I can edit it, but I don't know to what extent, I guess. Like, I see the edit button on there. I've really never edited a post before. Usually it's either completely right or I would just delete it and re-up the next one. Yeah, I completely forgot that was a holiday. But because it is, I think I could get away with doing the stream earlier in the day for that reason. Had it not been a holiday, going to do that stuff on Friday, I just wouldn't be able to stream at all. But I think with it being a holiday, a lot of people are probably going to have 4th of July off anyway. So the streaming just works better in the afternoon than what it would at night. Like, I wouldn't even if I wasn't going to do that stuff, I know for a fact that a lot of you guys probably have stuff that you're doing, or at least maybe want to see fireworks or something like that of your own. So if I were to stream on Friday night, not as many people would be watching it live. Like, it would just be too conflicting. I wouldn't do that. I don't want to take away from your time, and part of doing these races, I want to make sure that, the most people can see them live as it happens, because it is a live stream. It's way more interactive, especially if you're somebody that's in the chat a lot, to watch this live as it happens. If you miss it, you miss it. But doing these, almost every day, to go back and rewatch it, I can understand if that's not an avenue for a lot of people. Same thing with like the live commentary streams too, because to go back and rewatch something that you actually know what happened already, because you watched the race live or something like that. I mean, it's cool, I guess, if you want to get my opinions on stuff as they happen and go back to certain points of the race and kind of skim through it, but to watch the whole thing, you'd have to be a crazy person. Or just, like, super obsessed with me, and if that's the case, then please stop. But it's kind of creepy, but going back and watching everything on replay a second time. I mean, I guess if it entertained you that much, I'm doing my job. But I don't think I'm that entertaining. I think she keeps getting up because she thinks somebody's here. Because she's like jumped off of the bed. Because my bed's next to me. I literally have to turn the camera at certain points just so it's not showing. It used to show all the time, and I've looked back at that. I'm like, you know what? That looks a little unprofessional. I'm not gonna have my bed showing in my background anymore. So I actually got the camera turned. The way this desk is pointed, it would catch the end of it still, but I have to turn my camera a little bit one way or another depending on what I'm doing. Because if it's the video game streams, then I have to turn it more to the right. But then I have to turn it more to the left on the live commentary streams, because then the camera box is in the bottom right corner rather than the top left. I'm using my actual laptop camera. So everything's kind of like turned a little bit. Long story short. Not that you guys needed to know that information. I could turn the camera off, but I don't think a lot of people like that. For some reason, you guys like to see me visibly. I got to get back into wearing more of my sports stuff on these streams like I used to. A lot of these days off that I have, like on Fridays and Mondays when I'm not doing anything anymore, I'm basically just wearing like comfy stuff all the time. So that's why I've got this Henley on. Well, it kind of stinks, though, because this time of the year, it's either baseball or NASCAR, and there's nothing else going on. Like, I'm not going to wear my Red Wings jersey in the middle of the summer. It's way too hot in my room to be doing that. Like, those things are thick. So I mow the wall down. Whoops. That cost me a little bit of time. Had about a second lead. Lost a couple tenths. Most of the lead lap pit, yeah, everybody pitted. There was only one driver that was ahead of us, but they beat us off of pit road, so we won the race out of the pits. We're at where we're at. 3 cautions, though, already. It's kind of been like an evenly paced race. We haven't had a super long green flag run up to this point. We did finally have that debris caution, but it was like way after what I expected it to be. And the track position's getting so hard to pass the leader here. We were able to do it on the restart. Had I not gotten around him that first lap after the restart, it probably would have taken me about a half a dozen laps or so. So definitely got to know that for later. We used 1 set of tires. We still have 3 sets left. We should be plenty good on tires to the end of the race. We might use all 3, but I think we'll be okay. I pitted a little earlier than what I would have if we just went green, especially at the couple cautions we had earlier in the run. So we'll probably have to pit closer to lap 150 this time. Had we had to pit under green there, we probably wouldn't have had the second stop till after lap 170. It's about halfway, 2 stops. That means probably going to end up having to pit at least 1 more time, maybe 2. Honestly, we could probably make this race on 2 more stops now that I think about it. If we just go to lap 150, I know I could go 80 laps on fuel, so, or about there. It's still a rough guesstimate, but I would assume I could go that far. So I could pit at like lap 150, 225, and we're plenty good to the end. We'll have a few laps to spare. And because track position's key, that's probably going to be my strategy. Overdrove it. Pants or shorts? Definitely not yoga pants. I don't know. It depends. Usually, it depends. Because if I'm coming from work, especially because I work in a warehouse, I'm usually wearing the clothes I'm wearing, and then I take a shower after the fact. Unless I work out when I get home before I stream, it depends on how much time I have and what I'm doing that day for the workout. But if I work out and work, then I try to hop in the shower real quick. At that point, I'm probably just wearing like pajama pants or something at that point. Usually it's shorts. Right now it's pants because it's my comfies, and I've already done all that today. I just got lounge wear on right now. It also didn't work today, so there's that. I am wearing pants though. Even though you probably can't trust me because you only see my torso, I can promise you I'm wearing pants. I do have to get up from time to time. Like, that would be the most embarrassing thing if I, like, wasn't wearing any pants and then forgot I wasn't wearing any pants. Like, I would never want to risk that. That would just be foolish. You know how many people have probably done that on, like, work Zoom calls or something like that before? Forgot their camera was on or something? If the channel ever got big enough, maybe I'd do it just for the joke of it. But I'd have to feel a lot more comfortable about myself to do that first. And I'm not a very confident person, so I don't, as funny as it would be in my head, I would still be so embarrassed. I wouldn't do it on a live commentary stream, I'll tell you that much. I try to be as professional as possible for those. Still have fun, but just in case, like, somebody big is ever watching one of those streams someday. Like IMSA's YouTube channel. Like, if I would have tried that during that, they would have instantly regretted ever popping in my live chat. Yeah, even though it's warm in here, I've gotten away with having my fan on the stream. I don't know how well you can hear it right now. It's not on high, but I have tried to stream with my fan on to cool things off a little bit. It's easier for me to do it on the video game streams. I don't do it on the live commentary streams just because I want my audio to be as clear as possible, but because there's game audio going on in the background, for this, I can kind of get away with it. That drowns some of the fan noise out. I noticed when I go back onto the streams that I have had the fan on before, there's not too much of a difference there. Don't hear it? Yeah. Probably too far away from the mic, too. It's literally behind me. I don't even know if you can see it or not. It's like almost hidden visibly behind my chair. AC on. I mean, I have the AC on. It's just, my room's just warm. The sun sets on that side, so you get into the... If I did morning streams only, it's not as bad, but middle of the afternoon or in the evening time during the summer, it's just warm up here. Not too uncomfortable, but to sit here and stream for like 2 to 3 hours, like, I'd be lying to you if I said I don't break a sweat every now and then. I haven't so far, but there are days when it's like mid-90s outside that like I'm actually kind of sweating a little bit by the time I get to the end of my streams. Which I really don't like because as someone who works a physical job and then also works out, I feel like I burn enough calories in the day. So if I'm, doing this on top of that, I almost feel like I'm losing too much weight, if that makes sense. Especially while I'm trying to bulk. I get paranoid about that. Like, I'm trying to put on weight and I feel like I'm burning too many calories. Just because I'm sitting here an extra 2 to 3 hours. Keep 5 to 50% race lengths. Not used to racing the full distance. You could probably get away with it for like truck races, because if you do 50% for cup races, most of the truck race lengths are about that. So you could probably get away with doing full race lengths there. Some Xfinity races too. If you're ever somebody that wants to get into doing full races, I would recommend that. Like, I used to do full races from time to time when I would have the older NASCAR games going up. Usually when I would get the new game, for instance, if I just got like NASCAR 06, I would like to do a season where I did full races only. Usually I only did it for like the Cup Series, but I would do that for like a season mode playthrough, and then for the career mode I would just do shorter race lengths. And then over the course of like the NASCAR season or something, I would basically do like one race a week. So I've done full races before. And then when I started the channel, a lot of these streams, like the video game streams, I did realistic commentary during the course of the races. And I still do every now and then. But for the most part, I've changed up the gaming style stuff. I do live commentary on the weekend, so if you like my voice for that, or you like, listening to me commentate races, I highly recommend doing the live commentary races on the weekend and tuning into those more, because you'll get all of that and more when it comes to whatever commentating abilities I have, or it's of the actual race itself. But honestly, I think what helps make me good at that, or at least good enough to feel confident in my work to do that every weekend, is because I did that on the video game stuff for a couple of years, way before I started doing live commentary stuff on the channel. Like, I started the channel back in 2020. I wasn't streaming every day, and I would just do the commentary over video game stuff. Because I always knew I had an ability to be able to do that. I just wanted to put it out there. So that was my window to kind of do that. And then when I felt comfortable doing it in front of you guys, I was like, you know what? I think I could do this during like the actual races. And I was trying to figure out a way that I can do that, because I can't obviously show the race In a perfect world, I would love to be able to show the visuals of, the live broadcast going on while I'm commentating it, but I can't unless I worked for the company. I think that would be great. Like, if I can get paid to do that, like from here, or get the rights to be able to do that, sure, it'd be cool to do races on TV in person down the road. Like, that's the dream job, but the ultimate consolation prize would be the ability to do something like that. Like, that would be cool. I mean, I'm already kind of close to it. I just can't show you guys visually what's going on, but by being, like, branded, I feel like with another, TV company or broadcasting company with doing that I could have some rights to certain cameras or something like that, that'd be awesome. I've always spitballed in my mind, too, like, another reason I've always wanted to move to, like, North Carolina and Charlotte and stuff, and why I will end up doing that here soon. Within the next calendar year, that's going to be the plan. But long story short, if I could get, linked up with a race team or something like that, and then even do, like, commentary for just those teams' drivers throughout the course of any given race on a weekend, or during certain races of the weekend, and then people that are fans of those particular drivers can tune in to my channel because I'm going to be talking solely about them the whole race. They're going to know exactly where they're running at all times. They'll know what's going on with the race itself too, but I'll have like all the updates I need for those teams because they'll be linked up. Like, that is something I've always spitballed in my mind as well. I don't think I've ever shared that on the channel before, but thoughts are spinning constantly in my head of what I can do, and like down the road, what I can do to try to help make this thing a reality with what I've got. Billions of dollars, yeah. Unless I worked for, like an NBC, and then I can do that during NBC races. I'm not talking about me paying billions of dollars to have. You can only watch the NASCAR race on my YouTube channel. Like, that would be. Even if I did have billions of dollars, it'd be like, well, it's not really going to put eyeballs on our sport because your channel's not that big. This car's got significant damage that we just passed behind us, and his hood's flapping away in the wind, so I'd imagine we might get a debris caution at some point. I don't know how long he's had that damage for, but long enough he fell off of where the rest of the pack is. $200% races. I didn't know you could do that on the World of Outlaws game. Do like 80 lap features instead of 40. Pretty cool. Hurt your arms when you do full races with the wheel? I guess it depends on where you have your wheels sitting. I mean, it's just like if you were driving for like 2 to 3 hours, probably just got to position your wheel in a different spot where it's the most comfortable for you. maybe your arms are like too elevated or something. Put the wheel maybe closer down to your lap. Yes, this lapper up on the outside. Oh, you just ran into me. Passed him on the outside, and then he ran into us getting into turn one. It's a little bit of a wiggle. It wasn't too bad. Pass on the 108 next. There we go. Lapped a few cars. Pit road entry was pretty easy with that access road where it was at. I feel like it's also easy for me to maybe speed on pit road. Like getting there itself, not locking up the tires is okay. Trying to find the basically invisible commitment line that the game has for us. That was a little bit of a challenge because I feel like I was coasting it quite a ways where I could have maybe pushed the issue a little bit deeper. But I know the minute I try that in the race is the minute I end up speeding on pit road, and I don't want to do that. That'll be an interesting dynamic, though, if I do have to approach green flag pit stops at some point. Honestly, if a caution comes out right now, I think I'm going to pit because we're pretty close to being within the window to make it on 2 stops. I mean, if I go 80 laps on fuel, we would only have to go another 8 laps from now to get within our window. So by, you know, if a caution came out now and if I were to pit, say lap 135 or 136, we'd really only need like 2 cautions the rest of the race to make it. You know, we've had 3 cautions already. I'd be willing to take that gamble. All right, so quarter tank of gas left this point in the run. Probably be able to go about 20 more laps. We pitted during the last yellow. The caution came out itself at lap 73. So we restarted about lap 76. Might just have to go as far as we can on this first run and then really gauge from there how far we can go going forward.
Number 113 is coming on the right side. You're clear, clear. Going on. All clear, bud.
Alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race. Say overdrive turn 2. I think it's kind of interesting on the schedule how I have back-to-back road course races coming up after this one today. Got the Fantasy Road Course at Boulder tomorrow. And then the next day after that, we're at Watkins Glen. And we did race at Boulder earlier in the season, I do believe. I definitely know I've raced there in the trucks once. I have to go back and maybe look to see how I did in the Busch race. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th race of the year. It might have been either just before or just after Watkins Glen. Or sorry, not Watkins Glen, Las Vegas. I was thinking of Watkins Glen because I talked about it a couple seconds before that. It's not what I meant though. Tuttlebug5, thanks for tuning in. NASCAR 24-hour channel showing some races from Charlotte Motor Speedway. See NASCAR 25 image. Like what the game itself looks like. I don't think I did. I just heard of, some of the updates with the gameplay itself, what to expect. They got like 156 drivers or something like that across ARCA, Truck, Xfinity, and Cup. Showed IRP in the game. Yeah, I definitely didn't see that. The hype is growing, though, more and more the closer we get to September, October. Haven't had the official release date yet, but I'd imagine we're getting somewhat close to finding out when exactly the game's going to be released. I mean, I would imagine probably 2 to 3 months before the game comes out, and if it's, let's say it does come out September sometime, mid to late September, then it's only 3 months away, just under 3 months from now. I'm going to guess that we'll end up knowing the release date at some point before the end of July. I should have plenty of time to be able to complete another season for every series on this game. Because I definitely want to finish it before, but also when NASCAR 25 drops, like I have to play that right away. I can't sit on it for like a week or two to finish up what we need to here. So that's why we'll be in grind mode with NASCAR 08 whenever I can. I did do a stream the day of a truck race at Pocono a couple weeks ago. I did a NASCAR 08 race before that. We did like a double header. There'll probably be a few more of those coming up at some point in the next couple of months as well, depending on, what races, what day. Easiest to be able to do that for would be Friday night truck races. NASCAR's tightening it up just a little bit as the run goes on. I've lost a bit of my lead. We were up by as much as about 1.3 to 1.4 seconds at one point. Now it's kind of fluctuated down to about 7 to 8 tenths of a second. We'll be officially halfway home next time by. It's crazy to think this race is 300 laps because our Bristol race for the Busch Series is 250. The second one, I think. Well, it might be 300. But even still, the same amount of laps for half the lap time. This is definitely a Cup Series race lane. 300 miles. But on a track like this. I mean, this is literally the same distance it takes to get around New Hampshire, and the New Hampshire Cup race is 300. At this time, 301 now. Yeah, I'll definitely be pre-ordering it. That's for sure. See, that's another thing. If for whatever reason I got an early release of the game, then I feel like I would have to be pumping out NASCAR 25 content even earlier than that. Definitely gonna have to be on the hustle to get our NASCAR 08 stuff done. Gonna be pitting within the next few laps. Got a couple of cars on their way to pit road right now. I think I'm gonna end up pitting this time just to be safe on fuel. All right, here we go. On our way in. Made sure I wasn't going to speed. 4 tires, full tank of gas. No adjustments. Should be able to easily make this race on one more stop after this one. Why did it shoot me out so straight like that? I thought I was going to end up on the racetrack. Well, I definitely lost time with the green flag stops because I do not think I'm going to be in the lead. John Wood was tough for me to pass earlier. See if we can get around him here. Casey Mears on the 24 trying to get up to speed on the bottom. I'll get by him. Sixth car of David Reagan's in the lead right now. We're in 7th place after the green flag pit cycling had gone through. Plenty of time to get back to the lead. I by far led the most laps in this race. Well, at least I think I did. I shouldn't say by far, because it took me 62 laps to get to the lead for the first time. Phew. I think we've got him beat. We're about to beat him again by passing him for position. 184, I'd assume, is a lap down up on the outside here. Giving us plenty of room. Have to pass on him. We'll bump to the back of Matt Kenseth. Underneath of Kenseth.
Still alongside.
Kenseth holding Truex tight
Derek,
through turn 4, but we still made a clean pass for 5th.
front. That's someone we can trust out there. Leader only has about a second on you. One's up high. He's not racing as hard as he could.
Bit of contact with the 16.
Hold on, he's still there.
Battle for 4th.
Still there.
A little more contact.
Clear.
The lap car's up on the outside.
Be careful, buddy. Friendly now.
Back underneath Sam Hornish Jr. again.
Real quick. Joe is 1 second behind the leader.
Clear for 3rd.
Clear on either side.
Mike Walsh is in 2nd. Then there's another lap car right behind David Reagan, our race leader. You gotta pause it for a quick moment. I'll be back. Nope, never mind. Never mind. Thought the dog had to go out. Be nice if I can get through this whole race before that happens. I swear, she lays down to sleep for like 5 to 10 minutes at a time and then gets up running.
Going up high. Getting a little more cushion than usual from him. Whatever you need, you're clear.
Nah, I'm not a swimmer. I haven't swam since I was a kid. Probably middle school, elementary.
If there's anyone else, keep blocking. Go on. Clear, clear.
Audio issues?
Outside.
What audio issues are there?
What I'm seeing out there, buddy. You're looking real strong today. Still alongside your There you go. All clear.
Whoa. A little loose. A little bit below the curb.
Still outside. Still hanging on.
That's alright. I don't really care to swim.
Nice job. Clear, clear. All clear.
Good for me. Well, it's good for you. Good for you. It's good exercise. Do other things to exercise. I don't really care for swimming. I don't know. Ever have a kid someday, I'm sure I'll take them, to a pool or a lake or something, whatever's open nearby. For me, personally, no. I don't really have any desire to get in the water.
Getting more room than usual here. Watch it, go up high. Number 109, just got to run high side. Both sides clear.
Probably need to take swim. Probably. I mean, I haven't swam. Well, I don't know about lessons. But I don't know if I'd be jumping off the deep end right away just because I haven't swam in a long time. I would not trust myself to just like jump off of like a diving board or something into 12 foot of water just because I haven't swam in so long. Probably need to retrain myself in like a 5-foot pool first before I, like I said, throw myself into the deep end. I mean, I haven't rode a bike in a long time either, but I feel like I can get back on a bike and just like ride. Like I don't. Is it like that kind of muscle memory, or is it one of those things where if you don't do it for so long, you just kind of lose the ability to be able to do it? You have to let me know. If anybody's ever gone like a obnoxiously long time in between swimming. I'm not kidding. It's probably been since I was in 6th grade. Because I'm trying to think back to
Just giving you some space.
my neighbors had a pool in this place we were growing up in, but this was not the current house my parents lived in. It was a house before that. We moved out of that place when I was going into 6th grade. So like the summer going into 6th, I think it was that year. Actually, it might have been the summer going into 7th, and then 6th grade. Yeah, that's what it was, because I definitely lived there through 6th grade. So it was 6th grade going into 7th. That was the last time I probably swam. I don't think I've ever gone swimming since then. I've gone in the water, like I've been on like shoreline and beach and stuff, but actually like swimming, no, that was the last time I think I swam. It's been a long time. I mean, that was, gosh, what, I would have been probably like 12 or 13, somewhere around there. You're talking 12 years, 13 years nearly, since the last time I've legitimately swam. I'd probably have to teach myself how to do it again. I mean, I'm a grown man. Like, I'm not going to go get lessons from somebody. Like, I'm sure I can teach myself how to swim again. But I wouldn't feel too comfortable if you told me to, like, jump into deep end, like, right now. I'd be like, you know what? Let's hold off on that. Hey, let me go into this end where it's, like, 5-6 feet. Let me swim around for, like, 5 minutes first. Then I'll jump in there, because there is a thought in the back of my head. I'm like, what if this does go wrong? Because not only do I not want it to go wrong for my own well-being, but I also don't want to be that guy that, like, a lifeguard or something would have to jump in and save a grown-ass man because he hasn't gone swimming in, like, 12 to 13 years. That would be embarrassing in and of itself. Like, I would have to go home after that. Like, there'd be no way. I'd have to go home and I'd have to never return to that place ever again.
Still there. Number 146, got a long row.
These stands are empty, by the way. Are we racing in front of nobody? I just realized this. It's a COVID race. Ouch. Done that a couple times in that corner of the whole race. There's nobody there. Okay, there's some people. There's not many, but there are some on the front stretch. They're definitely not using all the grandstands, I can tell you that much. I like how there's a bunch of like Nextel Cup logos on the side of it and stuff too when the Cup Series doesn't race here. Never has. This is a Busch race on the Busch season. They didn't even race here at this time either. 2007, this track was history by then. I don't even think open wheel raced here anymore. Maybe that's why the crowd's dwindled. The game tried to make it realistic. Like, yeah, people don't want to come here anymore. Camping looks like it's full, but the grandstands... I see some campers out in turns 3 and 4 back behind the billboards. Or turn 4. Specifically back behind the billboards. And you got them over here on this side of the track too. And then obviously all around the infield. Gone a really long time since the last caution. Be cool if this track was in the game somehow again. All they'd have to do is scan the track. That's definitely something iRacing can do, I feel. And they were able to do it with North Wilkesboro well before North Wilkesboro became a racetrack again, so. The technology is there. They just got to go out there and do it. And 19 likes on the stream. Let's see if we can get that up to 25 before the end of the stream tonight. Such a long race. It's definitely a race that didn't need to be this long. I feel like outside of that little bit in the beginning when Dale Jr. blew an engine right in front of us and John Wood, I ran into the back of John Wood. We had that first caution. We've ran a flawless race ever since then. It'll take a lot for us not to win. "2004 is the last race for IndyCar." Is it on iRacing at all? Anybody that does iRacing or knows enough about it, like, is Nazareth on there? I know they've kind of restored some old tracks before, like I mentioned already with North Wilkesboro, but there's some other ones out there that I also don't know how long that process actually takes. Like, is that something that takes, like, weeks? I don't think it takes weeks. I feel like they, especially, it probably depends on, like, the size of the track, too. If it was a road course, I don't know. Can you do it in a day? Zero clue what kind of technology they use to do that stuff. Top 5 right now, we got Truex in the lead, Mike Wall second, John Wood third, Kevin Harvick fourth, Casey Mears in fifth, and Greg Biffle sixth, Sam Hornish Jr. in seventh, Ty Kluber eighth, Matt Kenseth ninth, Jeff Burton rounds out our current top 10. No fantasy drivers up there, all would have been active drivers as of the 2007 Busch Series season. Got 110 laps to go. Everybody's going to have to pit one more time. Our fuel window to make it to the end will open up in about 30 laps from now. Once we get to 80 to go, we're going to try to push this fuel run as far as we can first, just to make it as safe as possible to make it to the finish. If we catch a caution somewhere around 80 to go, then we may have to consider pitting then, but up until that point, I think we're good. Definitely a race where we should get a max points day with the win. Should easily end up leading the most laps. Haven't clinched it to this point. Probably going to be a little bit before we do. We've got the car to beat, as we've had many times for the Busch and Truck Series races on the channel. The Cup, as you saw yesterday, a lot more difficult for me. It's just the equipment that we're in. And you guys got full indication of what equipment I'll be in because you vote for who I race as on these seasons. You'll get to vote again when we do our custom schedule season on NASCAR 08. When NASCAR 25 comes around, you'll get to vote for who you want me to race there. Across all 4 series that'll be in that game. Do a season playthrough. ARCA first. I feel like I have to do the Daytona 500 first just because I think I've started with, well, I probably started with trucks looking back on NASCAR Heat 5, but when the game releases, I feel like I have to hop on the Daytona 500 first and then maybe go in like descending order. Also depends on what day of the week the game comes out too, just with my work schedule. I'll try to make the Daytona 500 happen, but if they have the duels in there too, I don't know if I'll be able to do that. It's going to take a lot of time out of my day. Well, halfway out of gas. This point in the run. NASCAR 25 says they're going to have pretty much every track across the ARCA Truck Xfinity Cup schedule. What track are you guys most wanting to race at that's newer that we haven't seen on a NASCAR video game either before or haven't seen on a NASCAR video game in a long time? We had CODA for NASCAR 21 Ignition. Well, because that game was so bad, I'd like to do it on a game that actually works properly. I will say, though, in NASCAR 21 Ignition, the most entertaining races on that game were probably the road courses. Like, the road courses were the most, like, realistic the game was. That's, like, the only reason I don't want to say CODA. North Wilkesboro, yeah, I mean, that's got to be up there on the list for sure. We've never seen that in a NASCAR video game before. I wonder if they'll have Bowman Gray Stadium on there, because that'd be pretty cool, too. Yeah, Rockingham is another one. I would probably say Rockingham, but we have it on these EA games. Like, it's labeled as the All-State Speedway, for instance, on a lot of these other games. I don't know what it's labeled as sponsorship-wise on this game, but it's still technically there. So I have raced there on many NASCAR games in the past, but those were all, like, PS2 or PS3 consoles, not even PS3, because I didn't have NASCAR 08 or 09 until now. I still haven't played 09 yet. I'm waiting to bust that out when we get through all the 08 stuff, and then NASCAR 25. It's probably not going to be till next year before I touch NASCAR 09, if I'm being quite honest. We're going to milk that NASCAR 25 content. Definitely into... I think next, like, do what I can with NASCAR 25. We get to next NASCAR season, and I think I'm going to try to schedule everything out so I do like one race per series a week across, you know, starting NASCAR 09, and then do one race a week for whatever I'm doing NASCAR 25 across the 4 series there, because that'll be 7 days worth. You can maybe double up some of the ARCA races because they're going to be short, you know. Some of the truck races are short that I've doubled up in the past, but the ARCA races, I mean, like 80 laps at Daytona, that's just barely longer than a dual race. There's going to be some short races on there. I don't think they're going to wreck as much as they do in real life at ARCA. I'm also curious with iRacing being involved in this game, are we going to drive under caution? Like, are we going to have control of our car during the yellow? And on pit road and stuff like that? Like, I am curious to know how that's going to end up being. Oh yeah, Chicago Street Course would be really cool too. Especially with how cool looking I feel like they can make it look. Especially at the next gen console. No one say Mexico City. Yeah, there's so many new tracks that we haven't seen in a NASCAR game before. Yeah, Mexico City's cool too, because even when they raced there during this time period of like when this game came out, they didn't have Mexico City on the NASCAR games. A working Nashville Super Speedway would be fun too, because on NASCAR 21 Ignition, that track is broken. It's bad. The AI are just so much stronger than you. Like, I literally run in last place and get lapped within like half a run. I'm basically like the NBM team of NASCAR 21 Ignition whenever I'd go to Nashville. I'd have to set the settings like way down. Throw on like veteran or something just for me to be able to compete. Just looking at the chat too long. Old Jackson St. Lime Rock, yeah, that'd be pretty cool too. Obviously, got a shorter road course. Of course, we get IRP back. The trucks. I think just like all those like local short tracks or random short tracks that ARCA goes to would be pretty cool too. Like Toledo Speedway, just me being from the Toledo area, like I think that's awesome. Portland, yeah, there's another one. Yeah, there's so many of them. See, we're building hype here even tonight. We still got like 2 to 3 months before the game comes out. Yeah, probably closer to 3. I would be shocked if it comes out early to mid-September. I think we're looking maybe late September to mid-October would probably be that sweet spot. I hope it comes out more closer to September just because that's more the NASCAR season. Although for the sake of the channel, knowing I do the live commentary streams on the weekend, it'd probably be better for me as a content creator if it came out with only a couple weeks left of the NASCAR season, because then I could put even more focus onto that, like during the winter, obviously, no live commentary going on. All right, just clinched the most laps led. Lap 213 right now. We've got 87 laps to go this time by. Late September's early October. There we go. Oh, man, that was a big drift. Car started drifting and it didn't want to stop. I was going to say there's a few cars on pit road, but I think those are drivers that have blown an engine during this long green flag run. We've gone almost 150 laps since the last caution, about 140. Lap 73 was the last yellow. We've had 3 cautions today, but curious to know if we're even going to see another one. The rest, there it is. Oh man, this is tough. We're right on the edge of the fuel window too. Debris caution, and we full-time content creator, of course, man. If I was a full-time content creator, there'd be a lot more. I mean, I'm as full-time as you can get to it not being full-time. There's more stuff I can do, but just with working like 30 to 40 hours a week, it's not possible. I just stayed out of the pits there. I wanted to pit. I don't think they hit pit road, though. I'm probably outside the fuel window. Green flag back in the air, lap 218. I think I was going to be like 3 laps shy on fuel. It's probably better I stayed out. That weird spot for that caution to come out. Oh, Mike Wallace going to beat the lappers here before us, potentially. And I think Mike Wallace is going to take the lead. Oh, cooked it a little too deep into the corner. Slight bit of contact. Right there with Mike Wallace, battling for the lead. He gets a lap led. I don't think he's led before that. A lot of contact. And 3 wide, the lap car up on the outside in turn 1. Truex hangs on. Blue turn 4 can end up giving the lead right back up again anyway. Oh, look at that over. I got a little loose when I cut down, though. Couldn't hold it. My car was fading on old tires at the end of the last run, too. This pass isn't going to be easy. Leaning. Got him. There we go. 80 to go, out in front. I wouldn't expect cleaner online races. I think you're still I think you're still gonna run into issues with people being a-holes online. You have that on iRacing from time to time, as it is. Console video games gonna be even worse. Ooh. Power slide getting into turn 2. All good. Might have to step away this time. Nope. Come on, Mocha. Come on. Put my phone on a charger. I got my phone died like a long time ago. What is this? Look at this. She pulled the sock out of my hamper. Some juice. I'll tell you what, I have my back turned and I have no idea what's going on behind me. A sock laying on the floor. I know when she has to go outside, she'll be growling at me. She does this like weird sit where she just like looks into your soul and starts growling at you. She used to be like just, I remember when she was a puppy and my sister first got her, she would just be so silent. She would just be like She would literally go next to the door. You'd be like, where's she at? And it's like, oh yeah, she's probably next to the door. You're sitting there waiting to go outside. I'm really hoping I don't have to pause it for like an extended 5-minute period of time because we only have like 75 laps left. Like, we are not far from the finish of this race. And the dog, hang on for about another half hour or so. We're getting close. Oh, I didn't even think about it. She might have to get a drink. I didn't bring the water up here with me. Okay, if she gets up again, I think I'm going to have to get the, get her a drink or something. I didn't even think about that till just now. Yeah, the dog, I'm on the dog's time. She's not on my time. I brought some toys up here, so there hasn't been any squeaky toy action going on yet. I'm surprised. That would have been a classic. A KRC classic. Yeah, got the lead on the restart. Well, we lost the lead and then we got it back. So Mike Wallace took it from us. I don't have the pull away speed on old tires. This is where I'm at my weakest. It's about that last 10 to 15 laps or so before we pit. By running long, the hope is at the end of the race I'll be fine. And I'm also really hoping that nobody else hit pit road during that last caution. I think we would have been a little bit short on fuel had we pitted. But maybe there's a chance that other drivers are going to try to push it. I have a fast car, but I don't think I'm fast enough to overcome, an entire lap if they all ended up pitting and I didn't. Could be another reason why they're putting a lot of pressure on me. $72 to go. I mean, I'm well within the window now. Should be. My fuel light's not flashing on me yet. Well, now it is. I'll tell you what, this is one of those races where I open my mouth and then whatever I say ends up happening literally seconds later. Or as I'm talking about it. It's happened with a yellow flag twice now and now the fuel light. It's only because I was expecting it to happen soon and then it does happen. The cautions, on the other hand, that was just a dumb luck kind of a situation. We went green for about 250 laps before that last yellow came out. And it sounds, okay, so the leaders are pitting this time, some of them. Not all of them. We're staying out for at least one more lap. We got 70 laps left at the line. Again, we should be good on fuel to the end of the race by pitting just the one more time. We do have one more set of tires left if we did have to pit another time. On my way in.
Outside. What do we need? Clear.
It was a little bit more aggressive getting into the pits that time. No adjustments, 4 tires, full tank of Sunoco race fuel.
More tires out this time. Watch your rear view, buddy. Going up high.
16 car right in front of us as we leave the pits. Probably going to be the race for the eventual lead here. Outside lane through turn 4 didn't work out very well for us. Couldn't hold it. Casey Mears the leader in the pits. So we will cycle as the leader this time by. Or I should say up to second. We've got the leader right in front of us. So we didn't lose as much time as we lost the last time. So that's good. Big run out of turn 3. Now through turn 4. Truex trying to get to the lead on the inside. I don't know if this is Biffle or Cleaver. It's one of them. A little bit of a wiggle off the curb, driving it in deep into turn 2. We got him. Truex back in front here at Nazareth. 65 laps to go this time by. Struggled on the last restart. The older tires, the lap cars on the inside, the lead lap cars. Because we had a green flag run over 100 laps, there were a decent amount of cars that went a lap down, which allowed for that to come into play. Really like how long sweeping turns 2 and 3 are. Where I can like roll in kind of deep, but then kind of, you got to be patient before you get back into the gas corner entry, especially on fresh tires. Like I have the grip level to sail it off in there, but then I'm just out of the throttle for a long time, letting the car roll, and then right there I heard the exhaust kind of feather the throttle and then stand back in it closer to get to that last curb, which would be the more turn 3 area of the track. I mean, this is a fun technical racetrack, really. I like it. On the video game side of things, I don't think it'd create the best stock car racing. It's how flat it is. It's way more built for open wheel. I'm sure, you know, IndyCar put on much better races here than NASCAR did. Well, for the video game side, I mean, it's fun to drive. Now, the dog name is Mocha. She's a coffee addict. Non-diagnosed coffee addict. Goes to Dunkin' every day. She said if she gets a male dog at some point, she's gonna call it Dunkin'. So she's a Dunkin' Donuts person. I literally got her a $100 gift card for Dunkin' Donuts at Christmas. So she goes there a lot. I'm like, well, I mean, this will get you a lot. I think she used it up within a month. It was all gone. I'm like, it's all gone already? Jeez. She's like, well, I didn't have to pay for anything, so I was going there sometimes a couple times every day. You go there before work, after work. I knew it would get its use. Probably have to do that again this year. And me, on the other hand, I like rarely drink coffee unless I'm dragging in the morning. I was going to, I was stopping at McDonald's for nice coffee in the morning quite a bit when I was working all those overtime hours a couple months ago. So if I end up back on the grind of that again, I probably will. I got to the point I downloaded the McDonald's app because it was saving me a lot of money. I'd go there and get a large iced coffee for 99 cents. Use that for once a day. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know, it wasn't costing me much. So I definitely wouldn't have done that if I was paying the full price for it. It's like at least in Ohio where I live, it's like $3.29 or something like that. I remember when it was $1.50 when I first started working at my place that I work at, and then I say McDonald's, now it's $3.29 for the same thing. I've only worked there for 4 years. Like, that's how quick these prices have gone up on like fast food and stuff. Literally more than doubled the original price from 4 years ago. Get up at 6:15 to go to the airport. Didn't you say your flight leaves at, what time did you say it leaves? 8:55? You must not live too far from the airport then. They say to get there 90 minutes early, at least. Like, that's kind of like the bare minimum. Like an hour and a half to 2.5 hours early. Although when I've gone on like morning flights, the airport has not been very busy every time I've gone there. Not to the extent where I had to get there super early. The only time I can ever remember there being a huge line for TSA was when I was coming back from Phoenix. And I went there the night after the NASCAR race. Like, that's the only time where there was quite a few people in TSA. And I wasn't paranoid that I was going to miss my flight because I was coming straight from the track. But I also knew the race traffic getting out of there. Like, I needed to get out of there quick. Luckily, the Uber driver that took me back to the hotel from the track, the night of the Xfinity race, that Saturday, I was like, hey, is there any way I could like schedule a time with you specifically? Because he said he was working again tomorrow. And I'm like, just to get that, I'm like, dude, I'll tip you like an extra $20 or something. Like, I just need to get out of the race traffic like early. So he's like, yeah, sure. So pulled up, found him. Easiest way to get out of a racetrack. I'll tell you, I got out like way before everybody else, and I still got to see the whole race too. I was like, meet me. I'm like, the race should end at about this destination. It'll probably take me 10 to 15 minutes to walk over to where you're at. I got to where he was at like 15 minutes before I said I was going to be there, and he was already there, and we packed up, we went. Because where the carpool or shuttle area was, it was a lot easier in and out than what it would have been for a normal parking lot. And that's so that way people, because there were a lot of other Ubers, but he was there specifically for me. Like, he said he had to decline a couple people that were leaving the race early because he had me waiting for him. So yeah, no, that was huge. That came in so clutch. If I ever do that again, that's my plan. Is if I can get somebody to do that, because that was the easiest getting out of a racetrack I've ever had. And I wasn't even driving. Because you get into a parking lot, you're kind of boxed in sometimes. Like, I'm usually not one that cares about where I park because I just know it's going to be a while getting out of the track because you have so many people there, especially for like a championship weekend like that where they're sold out. But yeah, that was so easy. And I'm glad I did it the way I did because with how long the TSA line was, I think I still got to where I was boarding like 45 minutes before my plane was boarding. But that extra 45 to 50 minutes, like if I would have had to wait for like a normal Uber or something like that, that could have been 45 to 50 minutes. Then there would have been more traffic on the highway. I don't know that I would have gotten there in time. So I'm glad I ended up doing what I did. And I still got to see the race. I knew I was in Phoenix. I was like, there's no way it's going to rain. I only ever remember Phoenix having one rain race, and it got rain shortened, so it wasn't like it was delaying much. But between the weather forecast and then being out in the desert, I knew it wasn't going to rain. I'd heard from locals over that whole weekend. They were like, yeah, it rains like a handful of times a year. So it was easier to schedule that. Now, if it was like middle of the summer at like Daytona or Atlanta, I don't know that you could get away with that. But I'm leaving the same night after and not having to bail out early or something. But you go to a track out west, you know, like a Vegas or a Phoenix, you could probably get away with it. Or a road course where you know that they're going to race in the rain. Probably get away with it there. So, anybody that ever decides to go to Phoenix someday and you fly in, you could schedule an Uber in advance. Way better just for timing and stuff. Now, getting in, I was very nice with the people that were dropping me off, knowing that race traffic was going to be bad, that I was telling them to get me to the track like so many hours before the race so they didn't have an issue. I'd hate to put that person in there, especially if they don't know what's going on, because the lady, for instance, I dropped off, traffic was already busy that morning, and I got dropped off like 4 hours before the race started. So I can only imagine if somebody was trying to get dropped off like more closer to like an hour and a half, 2 hours for the race, there would have been no way that you could like even get in and get out quickly. Like, it'd be cutting into their business so much. Way cheaper than a rental car, I'll tell you that much. I mean, I had the situation I had where I missed the truck race because of the Uber situation, but everything on Saturday and Sunday went by, well, I shouldn't say everything on Saturday. I had to wait quite a ways after Xfinity race before I got a ride out of there, but that's also why I got the ride in advance for Sunday. That set me up for when I went to the Royal Rumble a couple years ago, too. Kind of the same way, where I Ubered in, Ubered out, but I also knew that Ubering out, that it was going to be long after the event was over. Because there's so much, usually, and I know this at least with NASCAR races and other sporting events or concerts that I've been to, the road will be blocked off specific areas to get on or off the highway because they're expecting everybody to go basically one way to get basically on the highway, so they'll block exits coming off. So if you get like an Uber, they're not going to know the exits are blocked off because it's a temporary thing, so it won't show up on like Google Maps or whatever, or any sort of mapping device. So you're going to get to your exit and like, oh, it's closed. And they'll either cancel or there's just like no direct way in. Same thing with the parking lot. The parking lot will probably end up being closed if they don't get there early enough. So you're having to wait for practically everybody to leave before they start opening traffic back up again. It was like 2 hours or so after the Royal Rumble was over before I was actually able to leave Tropicana Field a couple of years ago. I was expecting that to be the case because that's about what it was for the Xfinity race that night of the championship a couple years ago when Ty Gibbs won 2022. Race got over at like 9 local time, and it was probably 11:30 local time before I actually got out of there. I should say 9 Eastern it got done. So I think it started at like 70. It was probably like 9:30 Eastern when it got done. Then it was closer to like 11:30 Eastern before I got out of there. Which, thank goodness, I was out west and it was Pacific time anyway. So in actuality, by the time I got to my hotel, it was only like 9, 10 o'clock. But in actuality, it was technically Sunday morning back home. Took the video down for Phoenix. Talk about the Xfinity race. Well, I took the Ty Gibbs video down. I put it. This was the height of the Ty Gibbs, I guess, hatred by the fans because he was ruffling up some feathers. And even just the week before that was the week he dumped his teammate Brandon Jones. So when he won the championship, I was expecting a rain of boos. And that's what he got. So the hilarity of it, I uploaded it initially onto YouTube. But yeah, I know I took it down after a while. Once I found out his dad passed away, I'm like, no, I'm not leaving that up there. That wouldn't have sat right with me. Just kind of a freak deal where I didn't know about it because I went to bed so late that night until like well into the next morning. I might have been like on the way to the track or at the track when I found out about it. So then as soon as I found out about it, it was a no-brainer that I would delete the video. So there are certain clips from that night specifically that you can't really go back and watch on the channel, but a lot of the other stuff is still up. Just not the post-race celebration, I guess, for Gibbs for the championship. And obviously, like, if, you know, his dad, for instance, like, passed earlier that day or something, and then he still raced, or, like, the week before, I don't think that the crowd would have been raining down. But, like, nobody, I mean, he was still alive at that time, so, like, nobody would have expected something like that to happen overnight like it did. It's a freak thing. Halfway out of gas. Just getting to 29 laps to go. Should be plenty good on fuel to the end. It's a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be, but should be plenty good. See, I'm glad I didn't pit during the caution that we had with 87 to go, because then I knew I was going to be short, which is why everybody ended up staying out anyway. All that would have done was put me back in traffic. And I would have either had to try to save to make it to the end, or I would have just had to pass everybody and, you know, end up hitting pit road at some point anyway. This way, pitted under green, we cycled out in second, we got the lead within a lap or two later, and now we're slowly pulling away. It's such a rhythm right now, though. This is the largest lead I've had the entire race. I don't think we had a 2-second lead or more the entire day, even though I've dominated on the laps led side of things. And Greg Biffle is the 16 car in second. Oh boy. Let's miss that corner. I was reading the chat for far too long down that straightaway. If you're wondering what just happened there. Well, now my 2.4 second lead's down to 1.6. 1.5. I just wasted like 8 to 9 tenths of a second of my lead doing that. Maybe a full second nearly. Whoops. Yeah, Harvick's last race. Yep, that would have been 23. I don't think anybody retired that year. I was at Phoenix. Looking back on it. That was the last race Kyle Busch ever had in the 18 car. Joe Gibbs. I mean, I guess that was kind of... We knew that going into the weekend. Already signed with RCR earlier in the year. That's pretty cool being at qualifying the day before, too. Got to see his final qualifying effort in the 18.
Right for your 10, bearing down.
Yeah, 23 laps to go here. Just got to keep doing my own thing. Obviously, we've done well up to this point. Just got to keep on keeping on. No, Kyle he's been at RCR for 3 years now. Because he won 3 races in 2023 with RCR. It was 22, not 23. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I went to 2022. I was at Phoenix in 22 because Logano won the championship that year. I was saying Harvick retired in 2023. I went to the 22 race.
Got 20 laps left.
I know we'll be close on fuel if I get to a quarter tank of gas left with about 15 to go. I'm expecting not to get to that until we get closer to 10 to go. Lando last year, was that the spring race? I just ran my fastest lap of the race. What the heck? How'd I do that? Oh. That lap's not going to be my fastest. 26.448. I ran my fastest lap the last time. Past halfway through the fuel run. The right sides are wearing out a bit. I think I'm going to go back to Atlanta next year. While the racing's as good as it is, like it's turned into one of my favorite racetracks. I was there for the first race. They had that reconfiguration. I was also there in 2019 at one point, well before I had the channel. But yeah, I think I'm going to go back again next year. I know somebody that lives down there now too, so they just moved. They used to work with me. They just moved down to Atlanta probably a month or two ago. Reconnect with him, take him to his first race or something. Yeah, there's a good possibility I'll be back in Atlanta next year. Yeah, 3.5 hours. One car just exiting pit road up ahead. I wonder if that's somebody that might have pitted during the last caution we had. Maybe a lapper or something? I don't know. Enrico Sanchez, thanks for tuning in. Need to run Atlanta 4 times a year? I don't know about that. They're not going to sell many tickets for... Maybe for 1 or 2 of them they'll sell a bunch of tickets, but there's going to be like 2 or 3 races in there that... It's going to be quite a few empty seats just because of the... I don't know if they'll be able to go to the same market that many times. Really hoping I could go 13 more laps without having to take that dog outside. We're so close. I'm surprised that she made it this whole time without having to go out. I was expecting like sometime in the middle of the race. Only because I fed her like 20 minutes before the race started. She went out. She didn't go poop yet. That's what she ate. Maybe she didn't actually have to go then when I took her out. I know she just didn't have to go because it got done raining like not that long before that. Scaredy cat comes to rain. Just being wet. Like it could have been done raining for like 2 or 3 hours, but it's still kind of damp outside in certain areas, and she still wouldn't want to go out. It's kind of a pain for my sister when she's trying to go to work and the dog doesn't go outside. Gonna be gone for a long time. It needs to. 10 laps to go this time by. Lead shrinking. I mean, I'm hitting my marks right now. About a 1.3 to 1.4 second lead. Plenty of fuel left in it. Just getting down to a corner. Oh, honestly, we're probably only like 5 or 6 laps to the good on fuel. It's definitely closer than I thought it was from the last time we pitted, but again, thankfully I didn't pit during the last caution we had and ended up staying out even though I kind of wanted to pit. Bit the bullet and things are working. Now we just got to hope it stays green to the end. Because we lost the lead on the last restart that we had. It took a couple laps to get it back. The good news is with under 10 laps to go, we wouldn't have the lap cars on the inside of the lead lap cars like we did the last time. So it may make it a little easier, but also spun the tires at a few tracks already when we restart on old tires late in the race. Not hard to do on this game. Honestly, of all the EA games, when you restart on old tires that I've played, this is probably the easiest to spin the tires on the restart. The best way to kind of get around it that I've noticed is you got to keep the wheel as straight as possible when you're getting up to speed. The problem is if I'm not in 4th gear by the time I get down into the corner, then I'm toast by that point. And the sooner I can get to 4th gear, the better. Big power slide moment getting into turns 2 and 3 there. I messed my entry up into 4.
5 more laps.
5 to go. We're catching up on 2 lap cars. I don't know if I'm going to get to them or not. Running side by side right now. Lead is slowly shrinking. I'd like to not catch them, but we might. 4 laps left. If I do catch them, we're definitely going to have to get by them pretty quickly. Final green flag run is going to be about 83 laps. Be the second longest green flag run of the race. Still hanging on to that 1.2 to 1.3 second lead. I'm having to be perfect right now to keep them from reeling me in because we did have about a 2.5 second lead at one point. Now these couple cars in front of us just made contact getting into turn 4, so we're definitely going to catch them. 3 to go. Down into turn 1. Oh boy, a little contact. Don't hold me up any more than you already have, please and thank you. There we go, got them both. A little bit of contact, but it wasn't too bad. Now they're side by side again, and second place is going to be rolling up on them pretty quickly as well. Hopefully that extends the lead. 2 to go. We're going to end up catching one more lap car. Just got to hope we can get to the white flag under green. If we do that, the race is ours. 8th of a tank of fuel left. Yeah, we really only had about 5 or 6 extra laps of gas in this thing, but we're good. White flag, 1 lap to go. All right, I didn't need to do that. We're good, we're good. You guy's missing a hood. His back bumper's demolished. Now I probably just gave him a donut on the left side of his car if he didn't have one before that. Slight power slide into 4. Put the power down. Checkered flag in the air. Martin Truex Jr. wins. 14th win of the season. Dominated the long race at Nazareth. And we'll try to go for back-to-back tomorrow night on a road course. Got back-to-back road courses coming up. We got Boulder Raceway Park, and we got Watkins Glen. I am skeptical for tomorrow because I think it's going to be another long race like this, which sucks because it's on a work night for me. So it might be a late stream tomorrow night. We'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping it's only 133 laps, so I think it's going to be closer to 200. Mile-and-a-half road course. All right, 218 laps led out of 300. Pretty solid. From 17 starting spot, max points day. Danny Oakland Jr. finishes 2nd, and Marcus Ambrose 3rd. J.J. Yaley 4th. 5th was Greg Biffle. Denny Hamlin 6th. Mike Wallace 7th. Matt Kenseth 8th. Sam Hornish Jr. 9th. Todd Kleber rounds out the top 10. John Wood finished 12th. He had some damage from an earlier incident, but he led 46 laps. One of our teammates, Paul Menard, finished in 16th. With no lap slide, Dale Jr. started on the pole, finishes dead last in 43rd. He blew an engine from the lead on lap 13. He led the first 13 laps. So him, Schultz, Sweeney, those are the only 3 drivers that DNF'd. 1.3 second margin to victory, 18 lead changes, 4 cautions. We had 3 in the first 73 laps, and then only 1 the last 127 laps. 227, excuse me, at the end of the race. Average race speed was 121.02 miles per hour, 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 43 seconds total time on this race. So yeah, practically a full cup race is what we ran here today, or pretty close to it. Mileage-wise, it would have equated to the New Hampshire races on a 1-mile track. Oh my gosh, 233. I thought it was going to be 200. Jeez. Yeah, this is going to be a long race tomorrow. Jeez Louise. I was not expecting that. Not going to lie. 233 lap road course race on a work night for me. I'm going to have to get some iced coffee when I leave tomorrow. That's going to be a long stream. And we got an hour later start than we had tonight, too. Cherry Blossom 300. It says 300, but a 300-mile race would be 200 laps. So this is actually going to be closer to a... I mean, this is almost a 400-mile race. It's about 350. 350-mile road course race. That it's not like it's a 1.5-mile track, but it's a road course. So the lap times are going to be way longer than like 30 seconds. It's going to be closer to 45. So yeah, it's a 350-mile road course race. Good Lord. All right, well, that's for tomorrow. Got a massive points lead, especially with Dale Jr. blowing an engine, finishing last. We get a max points day. He did get 5 bonus points before he DNF, but yeah, not good. We're going to have a massive lead. We probably got over a 1,000-point lead now going into these final 12 races now in the season. 13 races to go. Yeah, the Old Spice Speedway, Boulder Raceway Park is what they have it as on, or Boulder Raceway, I think is what they have it for this game. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. This was a long one. Tomorrow night's going to be even longer. Marathon race on NASCAR. Wait for the Busch Series upcoming. Have a good rest of your Monday, everyone.